Attention everyone, attention all men, women, children, and that one guy who DM'd me on Twitter, step on me and call me retarded 4 months ago. No. And also not you. Now that I have your attention, be sure to smash that like button. You know, I prefer my anime when they're like the average lifespan of a European in the 17th century, short. I got my start mainly watching movies and 12 to 13 episode anime, so the shorter stuff has always held a large appeal for me. And especially a lot of these 2 to 5 minute experiences have a lot of fun to be found in them. When I'm bored and worried that I'm going to die before I contribute anything of value to this world besides a couple videos people thought were decent, shorts and music videos are a pleasing solace through which I can do the mature thing. Ignore my worries and box them up. They're easy to put on, short, creative, and diverse. Even if I don't like them, usually there's at least something interesting to them, unless it's a Love Live music video. But I don't want to just go back down the same path of why shorts are worth watching in the first place. I already did that like 10 months ago, and you should watch that video because it's pretty good. The reason I'm finally coming back to the subject is that I've done my research. I've been out on the front lines, watching weird epilepsy-inducing fever dreams, all in search of that good shit. I've watched like every short to come out of the past 12 months, at least according to AniList, obviously a little limited, but at least it's better than Mal. So here's some stuff that I thought was neat. Who doesn't like neat things? I'm really doing a great job of selling this, aren't I? Now we can't even begin to talk about the world of recent music videos without Tsutomayo and Eve. A secretive rock collective and producer, singer, songwriter respectively, both have risen to the top of the charts through their infectious jams and striking shareable animated music videos. And both give spotlight to independent creators to great effect. Eve released 6 original animated music videos this year. You've got the cute romance of Heart Forecast, even if it is a shameless advertisement for chocolate and love, only one of which I'm gonna have any luck finding. But hey, you put a color explosion in your musical climax and I'm gonna climax. I'll like it probably. Promise does the same and is also gay, good. Snow's limited color palette pairs quite well with the loose pencil-y line art, and the animated peaks hit quite well. This one's directed by Ryo-timo, who I mainly mention because he did this climactic minute-long running scene from The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, which has a similar rotoscope but with exaggerated expressiveness kind of look to it that I enjoy. But of course the one that stands above them all is everyone's favorite tutorial video, How to Eat Life. Now it does have the benefit of having by far the best song, but it also has some of the most insane visuals, which is crazy to think about the fact that this all came from the hands of one individual. Mariyasu, who caught my eye last year with one of my favorite shorts, Shu, which by the way was a graduation film, is back at it yet again to flex their prowess. There's a lot of shared elements between the two, the orange-hued color palette, Japanese folklore-inspired demonic monsters, even the setting looks extremely similar, all making for a sick aesthetic and setting up lots of creative animation. Mariyasu in particular has this sense of rhythm to the way they animate their characters that is captivating. Each movement has a clear sense of weight and purpose to it. Dynamic and dance-like, Mariyasu is definitely well on their way to being one of my favorite independent animators, and the fact that I can say that already so early in their career is really exciting. Tsutomayo on their end had 5 original animated music videos this year. FASTENING uses a lot of stark, limited colors to great effect. Unique choices of color palette are something that tends to grab me quite quickly, and in general I'm interested in seeing more of it. This mainly has harsh blacks, whites, and reds contrasted against lighter blue tones, but seeing the way the line art and fill colors change with the tone and scenery brought memories of the intriguing art direction in Flying Babies. I know all my friends dropped it because they said it made them go blind, but damn if I don't want more stuff that looks that bizarre. Maybe I'm just desensitized to ridiculously high saturation from being a YouTuber. This music video seems to be the artist, Kawasemi's first animated project of note, but looking at their Twitter, they've got a lot of cool color usage in their illustrations, so I could see them upping the ante even more in future projects. The big one, of course, is Study Me, because it outpaces their other uploads this year by a good 10 million minimum, and it's also cool as hell. Most of it is set in this purple-pink hue with green highlights, a neon aesthetic that paired with the stylish streetwear and expressive designs makes for a lot of moments of incredibly memorable imagery. The complexity just continues to build into this insane spectacle of a climax. Koudai Watanabe's designs here are what sell it. Before I had even seen the video itself, the design I'd offhandedly seen somewhere on Twitter had made a strong enough impression for me to recognize it clearly. The larger hands give another point of expression to create a strong line of action, and the huge platform sneakers are sick. Those streetwear fashion shoes are awesome and I'd love to own some myself, but there's also no way I'm dropping $100+ on footwear when I leave my apartment like twice a week. Yeah, I'll really impress the depressed 17-year-old bagging my groceries with that, won't I? This is definitely one of the most aesthetically memorable music videos of the year in general. It's no surprise it's the one from which the music channel itself chose to use as their profile picture. I saved their most recent music video, Koudai, for last, as it gives me a good excuse to talk about another sick animator. Though for some stupid reason the video is region locked, which I genuinely can't fathom the reason as to why. Man, if only I was big enough for a VPN sponsor, this would have been the perfect segue. Damn. It's a shame this music video is less accessible because I think it's the artist's best work yet. Komogiko 2000 is an independent animator that produced 3 music videos this year, one for Loin and Nei alongside this one. Not only are they young, the 2000 in their name being their birth year, but their growth is immense. The rough line art is reminiscent of TK Miz's style, the kind of artistry that captures a distinct beauty in its quote-unquote imperfection, and those amateurish surface elements hiding the deep level of fundamental understanding of perspective and form that they possess. Their art has that punk rock indie attitude that touts expression over perfection, and it just works. I love it. Their sense for casual intimacy feels really real, for lack of a better word, and that paired with the movements when the music syncs up right goes so hard. I could loop this one moment for ages and never get sick of it. The personality punch, that shit's good. Now, that was certainly awesome, but how about the ads and more out there stuff? Wait. Don't go. What if I told you that there was a Dr. Stone X Snickers advertisement featuring a famous Japanese comedian? That's actually all there is to say. Something about seeing a serious or at least somewhat serious piece of media put in such a shameless ad is always hilariously surreal to me, as common as it is. Like this fucking Evangelion laundry detergent advertisement. Guess you gotta wash the cum stains out one way or another. Nescafe's Hong Kong commercial, though, is a genuinely great one. Little surprise considering it features talents from stuff like the sick Pokemon shorts, Penguin Highway, and those school-setting One Piece ads. Like the adorably charming ad Natsu no Niwa from the same studio last year, the line art, lighting, design, and animation makes the characters look so round and flexible. I just want to squish them. In a loving way, you know? It's made even better by the character designs of Nanaue, with those wobbly, glassy eyes that I feel like I could fall into. The more a character looks like they're about to fall apart, the more I think I like it. Leaning back over to the weird side of things, we've got PIANOMAN, which is, well, it lives up to the title, I suppose. This one is definitely worth experiencing. The escalation, jamming music, and humor to it make for a fun first ride, and the full CG doesn't hold the character animation back from being quite expressive. Mirai and Mizue also produced Kanashimi no Kodomo-tachi, a music video for My Son Book Girl. Their hypnotic morphing shapes and patterns, filled to the brim with movement and extremely smooth, all these abstract creatures and bits of body horror sets them apart as a extremely distinct artist, which makes it no surprise that they've received much acclaim. His self-named studio, Mirai Films, describes itself as a moving image design studio, and I think that quite aptly describes the philosophy Mizue takes towards crafting the visuals in his films. These beautiful yet somewhat eerie moving pictures. Though unfortunately due to the way most streaming sites compress video, it's difficult to experience their art in its full glory. Kurayukaba Pilot is a neat proof of concept for a longer film, now in production thanks to crowdfunding, and just look at that director. That man's got style. He is absolutely rocking that bucket hat. The aesthetic itself definitely looks interesting, even if the post-production is a bit much, but any anime with more steampunk elements is welcome in my book. Ever since I watched Last Exile years ago, I've always wanted to see it as a more regular mainstay in the medium. Before I get to my favorites, there's a few others besides that are worth bringing up, or that I'll get murdered if I don't mention. Like Gotcha, which is certainly cool and well produced, but as someone who grew up on Dinosaur King and Bakugan instead of Pokemon because, Satan, I've got no emotional attachment to the franchise. I had a great childhood. Another interesting thing is that Keiichi Arawi, the creator of Nichijou, recently started uploading somewhat regularly to his YouTube channel, with a few short animations and a music video, and seemingly plans to do more. It's nice to see Arawi's charming style in motion again. Crazy to think that it's been almost a decade since Nichijou aired. Rabbit Machine, an artist I've been following for a while thanks to this short Yotsuba animation and their other creative shorts, directed a cool music video for the song Ruru Suicide Show on a live stream, which is exactly as on the nose as you would expect, and definitely more so than I tend to like, but it makes up for it through its creative, constant changing style, making for an engaging experience. Also, having the lyrics at the bottom be presented as if they're tweets is a clever touch. I like little stuff like that. But with all those out of the way, it's now time for my top 5 favorite animated short / music videos from the year of 2020 that I watched and also are not in any earlier part of this video. Hooray! A combination of real life and animation, Magic has my attention for its unique visual pairing, using these disparate empty settings as the backdrop to this cloud-like figure wandering like a lost sheep. It works wonderfully with the melancholic, dreamy musical tone Kushie provides. Seeing 2D animation and live action paired is pretty rare, especially nowadays, so seeing it done so well and with a good sense of purpose was a nice treat. With Yoko Kuno handling the animation side of this video, it's also a pairing of the two artists for the third time, notably with Yoko handling the visuals for the fantastic short Airy Me. It certainly seems like their artistic ideas blend very well with one another, and hopefully we'll see them paired again in the future. Imaginary Express is like an explosion of cotton candy. The aesthetic is sweet, fluffy, colorful, leading right into a delightful roller coaster ride. Soman and Soresake deliver a gorgeous journey, and the dumpy looking Snail-chan is moe as hell. This one cut of Snail-chan bouncing happily brings me more joy than most things nowadays, though maybe that speaks more to my cynicism than anything. Flight sequences are home to some of the most cathartic sequences of animation imaginable, and this music video delivers it excellently, alongside Snail House's fantastic spacey production. The whole thing is such a euphoric, purely joyful experience, and it just makes me really happy. Shingo Tamagawa's Puparia encapsulates a particular flavor of animation that I'm constantly craving. That dark, beautiful, mysterious, speechless, hypnotic experience. You know, the type of stuff that is both by design incredibly demanding to create, yet most often quite limited in commercial appeal, so there's not a whole ton of it. The high detail and intricate backgrounds are reminiscent of Yoshitaka Amano and his work on Angel's Egg and 1001 Nights, and the wide eyes that are impossible to look away from bring back thoughts of Yoshitoshi Abe's design work on Serial Experiments Lane. It's an amalgamation of many aesthetic elements I love, but also very much so its own thing, with the vibrant colored pencil look standing out as quite striking. I think the pure quantity of fan art for this character that has barely a minute of screen time, if even, speaks to the impression it's able to create. The only unfortunate element is that it's so short, because the little taste of Tamagawa's world that this gives me has me, really hankering. I'm hungry for more of it. It was sick. Bouken-tai Mori no Yusha. This music video is brilliant. Every time I watch it, I catch something new. The song blends together these childlike feelings of wonder, curiosity, passion, anger, sorrow, all into one cohesive, compelling package. And the way the visuals replicate that feeling is as if they are tied together in a dance. It's seamless. The opening shot, for instance, which doesn't say much initially besides looking cool, is actually set up for later. Also, all the 1.5 million subtle ways it syncs up with the music directly. This little bump in the car, the characters backing into each other and into a new musical character, their eyes opening on the beat here. Like every cut and movement moves with the music in one way or another. During this climactic piano solo, where the pianist is going ham, hitting all these dissonant notes as if it has to slam every key just to capture the explosion of emotions, that is paired with an explosion of fire, and as they dump their much-hated school papers into the flames, the animation of each one of these kids and how they express themselves doing so matches the specific phrase of the solo. The first kid, like the phrase, builds to a punchy hit but then backs off quickly. that trip on the lick there, or how the third holds a more consistent rhythm and the visuals convey a sense of her letting go but not in as explosive a fashion. But again, there's a slip up paired with a lick, and then the deep low note hit is paired with a flash of flames for a perfect transition. I love the way the camera pans in here with the smooth as hell tracking shot, and notice how the flash of the bus headlights syncs with the kick drum and the entrance and stop of the final bus with the piano chord. I could go on and on, just listing all these fantastic little touches. The character acting here is very distinct. It sells me on their relationship and their emotions in such a short period of time just by way of how, well, expressive they are. The experience is such a creative journey, and I love that about it. It really does feel like a love letter to some of the most turbulent, formative, and exciting moments of our lives. A time capsule of this emotional period realized through a perfect blend of realism and abstraction, going from one to the next when the feelings conveyed by the music can no longer be contained. Fantastic. Hats off to you, Yoshitoshi Shinomiya. Well done. And here it is, my favorite of the year. Zetsubo Funsai Shoujo Amida, literally despair smashing girl Amida. A Madhouse collaboration with some phone game thing called Monster Strike that also has a variety of anime spin-offs. It's so much better than I would ever expect of something tied, even loosely, to a phone game. The directorial debut of animator Daiki Harashina, there's some crazy talent on display here. I'm not hugely knowledgeable when it comes to individual TV animators, but I did notice a lot of the animators on this project worked on Mob Psycho 100, and it definitely shows. The production is fantastic, with a brilliant climax, but is also very purposeful. The action serves the narrative, and there is a narrative. In spite of it being 4 minutes long, I felt like I got the level of content I get out of some full-length OVAs. Our despair smasher Amida is granted the mission to enter people's inner world and defeat monsters that feed on negative emotions, with the climax being her helping her childhood friend Kurari, who has been bottling up the sadness from her father's death. What gives Amida the spirit to push through when things are going rough is a memory of how Kurari helped her when she was alone, and she manages to reach through to her friend, and together, in harmony, they banish the monster. Realizing intangible emotions in a seemingly tangible fashion is something that animation is acutely equipped to handle, and it's precisely why this short works so well. It's such a simple yet satisfying story, turning this battle against trauma into an aesthetic experience, giving catharsis to overcoming inner demons. The bombastic, confident attitude as it blows the negativity away in this huge, over-the-top manner, there's just something quintessentially anime about that. As it pans over Amida in her defiant arms-crossed Gainax pose, she says, "Kind memories make us strong." And with such a shitty year behind us, how easy it is to be down about things nowadays, that reminder to hold on to what gives us strength is, well, it's honestly pretty damn touching.